Here's your wrestling news for November 14th, 2025. Your headlines for today include: breaking, WWE finally signs Joe Hendry, deal is official. AJ Styles pre-retirement TNA match with Frankie Kazarian, latest update. R-Truth may have just spoiled a big twist in Cena's retirement tournament. Elimination Chamber 2026 date and venue officially announced. Dax Harwood details frightening fallout after AEW segment. Real reason AEW axed Ric Flair segment from Dynamite revealed. Kelani Jordan scores major career achievement. What really happened during the NXT invasion at TNA Tapings, and more. We have some breaking news to report as Joe Hendry is now officially a WWE superstar. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Hendry has signed a 2-year deal with WWE, marking the end of his run in TNA in an official capacity. While he hasn't appeared on TNA programming for several weeks, he has been heavily involved with NXT, and now we know why. The report confirmed that Hendry is officially a WWE talent moving forward. Internally, Hendry is no longer listed for any upcoming TNA appearances, though he may still be spotted backstage when shows run nearby. His absence from Bound for Glory raised eyebrows, but this new information explains the omission. Fightful added that WWE sources fully confirmed Hendry's full-time status and noted that he had been pushing for this move for quite some time. Shawn Michaels has been a strong supporter as well, reportedly lobbying for WWE to buy out Hendry's TNA contract. Despite having several months left on that original TNA deal, Hendry and his representatives worked out an amicable agreement that allowed him to transition to WWE without conflict. Even before signing, Hendry immediately became part of NXT's weekly storytelling. In the short stretch he's been featured, he's already shared the ring with major names including Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and has wrestled The Miz, appeared in the Royal Rumble, and gone up against Charlie Dempsey, Trick Williams, Ethan Page, and several others. Now that his future is officially in WWE's hands, the real question becomes how Triple H plans to utilize him on the main roster. Will Joe Hendry's unique charisma and in-ring presence turn him into one of WWE's breakout stars? Let us know what you think in the comments. AJ Styles is eyeing one last ride in TNA before he hangs up his boots in 2026, but even he admits the chances are slim. The Phenomenal One made it clear that while the desire is real, WWE's approval is the biggest obstacle standing in the way. Speaking on the No Contest Wrestling podcast, Styles responded to Mike Santana's public challenge for a match in a TNA ring, possibly even for the World Championship. Styles didn't hide his enthusiasm, but he also didn't sugarcoat the reality of the situation. I was hoping this match would happen, I really was, but I realized it probably never could with WWE allowing it. And the reason is pretty simple. The moment I open that door for main roster talent, everyone else is going to want to do it too. Styles understands exactly where Santana is coming from, especially when it comes to wanting that one special match before time runs out. Honestly, the way he talks reminds me of how I feel about some of the legends I've wrestled. I just want a chance to learn from them, to share the ring with them, and to be able to say I had that opportunity. I really get where he's coming from. While WWE and TNA are working together through a renewed partnership, Styles pointed out a key detail. So far, only NXT talent's been involved, not main roster names like him. Going back was an incredible moment, but I just don't see that match happening right now. Even with the partnership NXT seems to have, it's NXT that has the partnership, not the main roster talent. Styles joked that if anyone deserves to break that rule, it should be him, but even then, he knows it's unlikely. With retirement approaching and fans pushing hard for one final TNA moment, AJ Styles finds himself stuck between what he wants and what WWE is willing to allow. Whether that dream match becomes reality is still very much up in the air. Do you think WWE should make an exception and let AJ Styles wrestle one final match in TNA? And if so, who should he face? Share your thoughts in the comments below. John Cena's The Last Time Is Now tournament is already shaping up to be unpredictable, but R-Truth may have accidentally revealed one of its biggest surprises ahead of schedule. During a recent interview with TMPT, Truth appeared to confirm that he's officially part of the tournament field before quickly trying to walk it back. When asked point blank if he would be entering the bracket, he immediately said yes, then shifted his answer just seconds later. "Yes, I am, dog. I'm hoping I get picked. And I think it's awesome, man. I think it's awesome for the person that's going to be facing him, and I think it's awesome for him to even give that type of passing the torch off." Whether it was a genuine slip or intentional tease, the moment didn't go unnoticed. Fans have been waiting for WWE to reveal more names, and Truth's comments instantly fueled speculation about the remaining tournament spots. Truth also described the opportunity as a major moment, not just for the wrestler who eventually faces Cena, but for Cena himself as he prepares for the end of his in-ring career. In his words, it's a rare chance to be a part of what feels like a symbolic, once-in-a-lifetime transition. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. WWE is set to bring one of its most chaotic and high-stakes match concepts back to American soil. According to a new report from Sports Business Journal, the company is preparing to host the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois on February 28th. Shortly after the report surfaced, WWE made the news official, confirming both the date and location. This marks the first time the Elimination Chamber will take place in the United States since 2021, when WWE was running shows inside the Thunderdome during the pandemic. In the years that followed, the Chamber traveled internationally, with Saudi Arabia, Canada, and Australia each hosting the brutal structure. Now, with the event returning stateside, WWE is bringing the carnage back to one of its most passionate markets. Fans in Chicago are set to witness the comeback of a match defined by steel, chaos, and career-altering stakes right inside the United Center. Spoiler warning, guys, if you don't want this week's TNA wrestling results spoiled, please skip this segment. This week's live episode of TNA Impact closed with a chaotic main event that completely reshaped the TNA World Championship picture. The world title was on the line as Santana defended his crown, but the match barely reached the 5-minute mark before all hell broke loose. Out of nowhere, NXT stars Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey, Stax, Brooks Jensen, and several others stormed the ring and launched a full-scale assault on Santana. The referee had no choice but to throw the match out. TNA roster members tried to rush to the champion's aid, but the NXT invaders overwhelmed them and stood tall over a fallen Santana before finally exiting through the crowd. The partnership between NXT and TNA may be active, but tonight made it clear that the alliance is anything but peaceful. Moments after the NXT group cleared out, Frankie Kazarian sprinted to the ring with his Call Your Shot gauntlet trophy in hand and officially cashed in. Santana put up a fight despite still recovering from the ambush, but the damage was done. Kazarian caught him with a roll-up, scored the pin, and walked out as the new TNA World Champion. For Santana, it was a devastating end to what should have been a routine title defense. For TNA, it was another reminder that with NXT talent now crossing over, nothing about the championship scene is safe, not even with the belt in company hands. The fallout from this ambush and cash-in is far from over, and the partnership between NXT and TNA just took a dramatic turn. What's your take on how the TNA World Title match ended this week? Should the booking have gone in a different direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Kelani Jordan continues to carve out her own dominant path as TNA Knockouts World Champion. Since capturing the title at Victory Road 2025, she's defended it with confidence and held on to the gold by any means necessary. This week's episode of TNA Wrestling saw her put the championship on the line against Heather by Elegance, and the match turned into a chaotic fight from start to finish. With the full Elegance brand at ringside, the numbers game immediately worked against the champion. Jordan fought with heart, but the interference came early as M by Elegance drilled her with a cheap shot while the referee's back was turned. Heather by Elegance didn't escape unscathed either. She was busted open the hard way during the bout, yet pushed forward with a series of heavy strikes and falls that kept Jordan in trouble. The closing stretch became a back-and-forth battle, with Jordan landing a super kick and Heather responding with a DDT that came within a split second of ending the match. In the end, Jordan found her moment. She climbed the ropes, hit her signature split-legged moonsault, and scored the win to retain the TNA Knockouts title. Kelani Jordan's next test isn't far away. She's set to defend the Knockouts Championship tomorrow night at Turning Point against M by Elegance, and if she wins that, she's set for a triple threat match at WWE NXT's Gold Rush special on November 25th, where she'll face Jordynne Grace and Lei Ying Lee with the title on the line. What's your take on Kelani Jordan's reign as Knockouts Champion? Do you think she carries the gold through 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The situation surrounding Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's Dynamite appearance took a disturbing turn once the cameras stopped rolling in Greensboro, North Carolina on November 12th. What began as an intense in-ring moment between Steamboat and FTR quickly spilled into real-life fallout. Just 24 hours after the segment aired, Dax Harwood revealed on social media that he's been receiving death threats stemming from the show. Harwood posted screenshots showing not only threats aimed at him, but also horrifying messages directed toward his family. One user even sent a chilling note wishing Harwood a slow and painful death, an escalation that had nothing to do with wrestling heat and everything to do with dangerous criminal behavior. The line between storyline anger and real-world harassment was crossed in the worst possible way. Situations like this highlight how toxic a small corner of the online wrestling community can become when boundaries are ignored. What's your take on this incident? Should social media platforms crack down harder and faster on threats like these? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Ric Flair was scheduled to appear on the November 12th episode of AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts in Greensboro, North Carolina, but fans were left puzzled when the Nature Boy never showed up on camera. As it turns out, Flair was in the building, he just wasn't physically able to perform the segment as planned. Both Fightful and Brian Alvarez confirmed that Flair recently suffered a torn rotator cuff after taking a fall. Despite the injury and being in obvious pain, he still traveled to Greensboro. In an effort not to alarm fans, Flair even removed his arm from a sling before stepping out in front of the live audience. Although AEW quietly pulled his on-screen role from the broadcast, Tony Khan still brought Flair out before Dynamite went live for an off-air moment with the crowd. It was short, but it carried real weight. Speaking with emotion, Flair called Greensboro Flair Country and thanked fans for supporting him across 5 decades. He told the audience that AEW was offering something truly special and that at this stage of his life, he cherishes moments like these more than ever, especially in the city where his career first took off back in 1974. Flair closed by calling Greensboro fans the greatest wrestling audience in the world. Once his speech wrapped, Khan rolled a Blood and Guts hype package and Flair quietly exited the arena before the live broadcast officially began. AEW may be inching closer to expanding its weekly television lineup, as 4 newly filed trademarks suggest the company is at least exploring the possibility of launching a 3rd show. Tony Khan has previously said that adding another weekly program is something to consider, and now the company has taken a notable step in that direction. On November 12th, AEW submitted 4 trademark applications to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, each one tied to wrestling-related entertainment services, including live events, wrestling contests, and televised productions. The 4 potential show names filed were AEW Fire, serial number 99492580, AEW Blitz, US serial number 99492588, AEW Firestorm, US serial number 99492594, and AEW Tidal Wave, US serial number 99492604. All 4 applications fall under the standard classification AEW uses for its wrestling content. As of now, it's unknown whether AEW plans to move forward with any of these names, or if the filings are simply a precautionary measure to secure branding options for the future. With an already packed roster and multiple weekly shows, the possibility of adding a new program does raise questions about scheduling, talent utilization, and long-term direction. Do you think AEW should launch a 3rd weekly show, or is the roster already stretched too thin? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Steve Borden isn't just carrying the weight of his father's legacy, he's beginning to carve out his own path inside the ring. After quietly making his in-ring debut earlier this year at an art show, Borden, the son of wrestling legend Sting, is now stepping into the independent scene in a far more official capacity. According to Fightful Select, he's scheduled to compete at Defy Aeon on Friday, November 21st at Washington Hall in Seattle, Washington. The match will mark his first appearance for a recognized independent promotion, where he'll be taking on Kyrian Gray, a fellow trainee of Darby Allin. That connection to Allin is significant. Borden has been training under Darby, whose influence has clearly shaped the next phase of his development as a performer. Borden is not a stranger to big moments either. Fans will remember his appearance as Wolfpack Sting at AEW Revolution 2024 during his father's farewell match, a symbolic passing of the torch that hinted at bigger plans ahead. Now, with his first official indie match locked in, the question becomes what kind of wrestler Steve Borden intends to be. Do you think Steve Borden will rise to the expectations tied to Sting's legendary legacy, or should he forge an entirely new identity of his own? Share your thoughts below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.